Hunters, DAKY Whitetails, another episode of Chasing a Dream. What I want to talk about on this video is keeping yourself in tune. I mean, usually off season, this is the off season now. We got turkey season coming up in a couple of weeks, and a couple of months. And so it's a good time. Like I said, a lot of guys are changing the strings out on their bows and fixing tree stands and all that other stuff. But what we do a lot of, we neglect ourselves. And I follow like Joe Rogan. I follow his podcast, and he's a kind of an exercise freak and everything else. And he talks about this keto style diet. But basically, what it is high fat, low carbs. And I started doing it for myself, and I wanted to kind of touch on it because I started doing it and my whole family. And so basically, like I said, what we do is we cut the carbs out. I cut all my bread. I haven't had a loaf of bread or any bread in a long time. You know, I've been doing it for about a year, anywhere 8 months to a year. And like I said, I cut a lot of my carbs out, so that means I cut a lot of the sugar out of my diet. And that's what I think was affecting me. I mean, I had a hard time losing weight. I went to Kentucky 2 years ago, 2016. I weighed like 200, 205. I was in around that. And like I tell you, I couldn't get around. I had a hard time. Sound like a locomotive anywhere I went, you know, me huffing and puffing. And this 2017, when I was out there, the same guys, when I met, you know, I was with them, they were like, dude, you lost some weight. And I did. I lost about 33 pounds, 33, 35 pounds in there. I never felt better. My aches and pains are gone because I was hurting really bad. My knees were hurting, my back was hurting, my hands. I was afraid I was getting arthritis. But like I said, I lost that weight. And when I lost that weight, a lot of the aches and pains went away. So basically, what I do, every morning I get up, I chop up some garlic, like maybe 2 or 3 cloves of garlic. My wife makes up this concoction we keep in the refrigerator. And what that consists of is apple cider vinegar, lemon juice, turmeric, that spice, that yellow spice. I get that at H-E-B. And the good part, you go in the bulk section, and you can buy it pretty cheap. We buy like a Ziploc bag, a small Ziploc bag full. Costs you less than $1. And I put a couple of tablespoons in the mason jar, like I said, with the apple cider vinegar and the lemon juice. And then I put water in there, bottled water in it, and or any filtered water. And that usually will last my wife and I about the week. By the end of the week, I'm down to it. I put about this much, maybe an inch or so, in a coffee cup, and I warm it up. And the reason why I warm it up is I put coconut oil in it too, because that's real good for you. You know, it's good for inflammation, and that's what the turmeric's good for, inflammation. You know, good for your joints. And the trick to that with the turmeric, you got to put black pepper in it because it causes some sort of chemical reaction. You know, it activates the turmeric, and if you don't get the benefits of it. I hear people, you know, saying, you know, I take turmeric, and when I tell them, you know, you put pepper in it too, right? And they're like, well, no, you know, they don't. And I say, well, that's the trick to that, is putting the pepper in with the turmeric. And like I said, I just warm it up in the microwave, and mix in about a tablespoon of coconut oil. I got like 3-pound bucket of this stuff in the pantry. And like I said, I do that every morning. And I've been doing it for about anywhere from 8 months to a year. And I've never felt better. My joints don't hurt. Everything. My arthritis don't hurt in my hands anymore. When I went out to Kentucky, I feel better now. I'm 56 years old. I feel better now than I did, than I was in my early 40s, late 30s. And people ask me, people ask me at work, you know, where do you get your energy from? And I just tell them, I said, this is what I do. What happened, I stood on that scale and I hit the 200-pound mark. and I swore I never thought I'd be that heavy. And that's when I decided I got to put a stop to it. And like I said, I've never felt better. Like I said, with the stuff I take, and now it's becoming a real drive, because now I swear, I said, my goal is when I hit my 60s to be better shape in my 60s than I was in my 30s. And I'm not far from it. I got a good friend of mine, I've mentioned him, the guy I hunt with out in Kentucky, Dink. And he's the same thing, he's 65, I think he is. And he's in incredible shape. And I swore I want to be in half the good a shape as him, and I'm getting there. And if you follow along, because what I'm going to do on Facebook, I'm going to do I'm going to be putting up what we eat, because I got a son who's an awesome cook, and he's on it. And we do basically all keto. We try to, the best we could. He makes this keto bread, and I'll post and I'll show you, how he does it and put the ingredients up. And like I said, I'll do those on Facebook. They'll be just little 5-minute things I'll do in the morning. So really the best thing for you to do is just follow along. And it works for me. I got other people, I've heard other people mention it too. Like I said, I watched this Rhonda Patrick, Dr. Rhonda Patrick. She's on Joe Rogan every now and then. And she talks about it, keeping basically your body in tune. And that's what I'm into now. I just, now what I do, I got to kick it up a notch by exercising more. I drive for a living, so I sit down 90% of the time. But like I said, I lost just about 35 pounds, and I feel great. I hate to pat myself on the back, but I got guys that are half my age, and I hear them talking. And, how this hurts. I got a good friend of mine in New Jersey, this guy I know that likes to hunt, has got a bad back. And I told him, man, before, he's talking about getting a back operation. And I don't know, they're talking, like I said, I got one fake knee. It's I had it replaced. And they want to do my other knee. But it just don't hurt. And it was, for the longest time, that's all I ever said. And main reason why I never did a lot was because my lousy knee hurt. But now, do I have to get it fixed one of these days? Yes, I do. But right now, it just don't hurt. And I can live with that. I can hunt the way I want to hunt. And I hunt out of a climbing stand, so I'm doing a lot of climbing. So, that's why I said, and eventually my son and I talked about going on an elk hunt. And I just want to be ready. And it's kind of a page out of Dabo Sweeney's book, the coach of Clemson, where be prepared for that moment. You never know when basically your number's called. And that's even when I'm hunting. If somebody invites me to go hunting, or, when I go to Kentucky, because a lot of times I don't even know really when I'm going or if I'm going. But like last year, it was hard because I just started a new job. And I got the opportunity to go, but I felt, with my equipment, my shooting was up to par. I shoot a lot, and, and I preach about that, practice, practice, practice. But in the same thing, be ready with your body. And that's, a real quick story. I had a good friend of mine, another guy that I hunted with in New Jersey, and we were both supposed to go out to Kentucky together. And I told him, I said, the only problem is you got to get in shape for it, because it's nothing but hills where he's at. He's in the northern part of Kentucky. So excuse me. And I was every day I'd come home from work. I drive a truck. Every day I come home from work, I'd jump on that treadmill. And he didn't. And, not to be a jerk, it got a couple weeks away, and I was like, sorry, dude, it ain't going to happen. I didn't bust my ass, for you to lollygag and, for you to slow me down, because I know when we get out there, it used to be, because this is going back a ways, I used to call it track and field deer hunting. You were constantly walking, because it was the easiest way to do it with a rifle. That was, like I said, going back a ways when I used to gun hunt out there. Now all I do is bow hunt. But that's what I'm saying. You don't know. Somebody invites you on a hunt, and if you're not in shape, it kind of ruins it. I mean, you could go sit in a ground blind, but I'm not into that. Like I said, I like to go around scouting my spots and stuff like that, and I just like to know that, I'm not going to be dying. And last year I wasn't. I was in one of the best shapes of my life. Like I said, after I lost that weight and everything, I felt fantastic. And it just, even my shooting, I can see my shooting getting better because I feel stronger. I'm not carting around that 35 pounds of dead weight on me anymore. And like I said, and I contribute that to this keto diet that I'm on. And like I said, check it out. I mean, look it up because, I mean, what I'm doing might not work exactly for you, but the bottom line to this is you got to cut out the sugar and the sugars. I mean, your corn, your bread, all your whites, the bread, a lot of your starches, a lot of the like flour and stuff like that. I mean, it's hard. It's hard, but once you get yourself where it's working, and that's what's happened with me. Now that I got it and I see results. I mean, I'm getting obsessed with it. Sometimes when I talk to people, I got to catch myself because I'm really drilling it, but I'm pretty proud of it, and that's what's happening. You feel proud. I mean, it sounds corny, but what happens? I get up in the morning and shave and stuff like that. I like what I see looking back at me, and you will too. Once you start seeing the results, that person that you used to be proud of is standing there again, and that's where I'm at with this. That's why I'm so adamant about it. Like check it out. Like I said, follow along. Because I'm going to be talking about it a little bit more on my vlogs. I want to hit it on it again when because now I want to start that's the trick to it for me now is start exercising. And I want to add the exercises in with me, like I said, with losing this weight. Now it's a good time to maybe start lifting a little. It's only going to help when I start shooting, and like I said, doing a lot more walking and being off season. This is the time to do it. So when that deer season comes around again, I'm going to be ready. Not only is my equipment going to be ready, but I'm going to be ready. So with that, like I said, I don't want to, I could harp on this all day long. Like I said, just, look into it. Like I said, it's called the keto diet, ketogenic or something like that. You'll see. If you punch in keto on the computer, it'll pop up. And if, it's not bad to follow. Like I said, go on Joe Rogan's podcast. You'll see. He talks about it. And like I said, just check it out, and if you have any comments or have any questions about it, post me some of your comments and I'll try to answer them. Because, I'm lucky too because my wife's on it, my son's on it, and like I was saying, he's a real good cook. And everything we eat now is basically low carb, might be high fat. I eat a lot of vegetables. That's the trick to it too. The vegetables play a major part. But, just, you get your proteins and, your multivitamins really help because you get a lot of your vitamins out of that, obviously. So just kind of check, like I said, check it out, follow along, and good luck. Like I said, and you will see, with any luck, you'll see the results that I had. So with that, good luck, hunters. Follow along on Chasing the Dream, and I'll talk to you guys later.